All right. So I do want to start kind of where we started last week, and that's with Dame Lillard. Because like I said, he is my favorite player right now. And he won the Bubble MVP. 8 games, he won the Bubble MVP. Let me get his stats. He averaged 37.3 points per game, 9.6 assists, 4.3 rebounds, 50% from the field, and 44% from three. And his team got the 8th seed. So Dame balled out. But I did see people online saying, like, hey, there were arguments for other people to get this award. So, Millie, if not Dame Lillard, who do you think should have got it?
Not to throw any shade at Dame. Like Mike said, Dame had a great, 8 games. Like he said, they got the 8 seed. Like I said before, they were my dark horse, so they showed up. But one player that really stood out to me that I felt should have got MVP, even though they did not make it to the playoffs, was Devin Booker. He led his team in points. I think he was averaging about 30 a game. The Suns went 8-0 in the bubble, but they fell short, and they needed a lot of things to happen, in order for them to make the playoffs. But overall, I think he was the best player, in the bubble, and he should have got, MVP. I mean, despite, like I said, they didn't make the playoffs.
How about you, Rat?
Yeah,
who's your bubble MVP?
It's an echo chamber. I think Devin Booker. I think they was, done being A-0. Them being, the surprise, just won every game, and probably to being the most impressive team. I gotta go Devin Booker. I think he, hitting that game winner against Kawhi and Paul George. I think, I gotta go Devin Booker.
I preach. Who's your bubble MVP?
For me, it's Kyle Lowry. I think he was a semblance of excellence. He's the best player on one of the best teams in basketball, maybe the 4th or 5th best team. And they didn't miss a beat in this whole, bubble playoffs or bubble, regular season, so to speak.
All right. And I went Dame because I just read off his stats. He balled out. His team did get the 8th seed. He was arguing with players and analysts. Like, he been giving us entertainment all day throughout the bubble, whether it's on the court or on the internet. So shout out to Dame Lillard for being a bubble MVP. And the Mickey Mouse trophy that he got was kind of dope, though. I ain't gonna lie.
Is that real?
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know. I just assumed. I mean, it was on the internet. It was on the internet.
Oh, so it's real though, Mike. It's on the internet. It's real.
It was on the internet.
I looked at Photoshop.
Report.
I looked at Photoshop to me.
Yeah, it probably was, but as it would have been dope. I'm sure Disney. I mean, they're partners, so maybe.
Yeah.
All right, Mills, who was the bubble least valuable player?
Least valuable player.
And we only talking about like actual good players, not just somebody that is giving you bench minutes. Like, who did you expect to show up and play good that didn't?
This player was by far the worst player that I saw, and I probably could have did better than him in the bubble. He was averaging about 30 minutes a game. That is starter minutes. That is a good amount. That's half the game. And he was averaging maybe 10 points a game. He was by far the worst performing player in the bubble, and that was Lonzo Ball. He was by far terrible. It didn't make no sense. The man could not buy a bucket. I think he had like 2.7 points. He had one double-digit game when he scored 16. But other than that, the man had under 10 points every game. And you're playing 30 minutes. Don't get me wrong. He had a couple assists here or there, 5 or 6. But his numbers were terrible. His play was terrible. His passion was terrible. And he was just a disgrace to the Pelicans. That's it.
Oh, my God.
I told you he played the worst basketball game I ever seen at first. So I don't blame you for choosing that, Bills. How about you, Rat?
I gotta go AD. I gotta go
Anthony
AD.
Davis?
Yeah, AD. I gotta go Anthony Davis. He was turning on and off. He was like not taking shots in games. He started off great. You thought it was like, oh, AD about to take this joint, take it over. But then it just the next game was like he didn't shoot the ball. He wasn't aggressive. He's taking too many threes, playing too far on the perimeter. And they just was like that whole team I think LeBron didn't play the best either, but AD I think is clearly the mismatch on every time he get on the court. I think he's probably the best player every time he touched the court. It's really nobody can check him on either team, and I think he should have asserted himself way more. I know a lot of games it wasn't playing for nothing per se, but AD, he just got to be better. He don't got that dog. I always say if you give AD Giannis like attitude towards the game, he is the best player in the world. You know what I mean? If Giannis had AD skill, it would be insane. But he don't. He just relaxed and just take too many jumpers, too passive for me. And I just think AD could have played better in the bubble.
I preach. You want to respond to Rad real quick? It sounds like you.
Giannis is better than Anthony Davis, so I don't know why he would need his skill. But anyways, I do agree with Rad on one point. I was gonna say LeBron James, but I think
you just
that was
told me Jason Tatum was better than Giannis, bro. What are you talking about?
And Jason Tatum's better than Anthony Davis too. But anyway, but that neither here nor there.
Yo, I thought he was gonna say he didn't say it, so we could put the clip in right
No,
there.
I said it, and I'm standing by it. But let me say this. I was gonna say LeBron, but I think it was strategic for him. Like I don't think it mattered anything. So I'm gonna say Zion Williamson. I think Zion was terrible, and I think that the league did all of this just to allow the Pelicans to get in. Like it was widely reported that the league extended the teams. It was supposed to be, I think, like 20 teams. They extended it to 22 or wherever it was just to get the Pelicans in. So they had to add a couple extra teams. Zion was terrible. It was like what was the point of him even being there?
He didn't get to play though. So
he played enough. He was fat. He wasn't able to move around. He wasn't as nimble as he used to be. Wasn't as explosive, and it was just a poor performance by him in every game that I've seen. And that's my least valuable player.
Yeah, every time Preach called Zion fat, dog, I cried. I died.
He was big.
He was,
and there's no disrespect to people who are big, though. By the way.
I Preach. Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. Your boys are not gonna like my answer, but I'm going to explain it. I'm going to explain it, but you're not gonna like my answer.
Is it a player?
Yes, it's a player.
Okay, I was about to say.
Yeah, man. I went I went Devin Booker, and let me explain. Let me explain. So eventually down the line, Rad, let me explain why you're.
Because I'm waiting for you to explain.
Like, all right, you're right. All right. We're going to talk finance on the show probably down the line. But let's talk it right now. And let's talk about the law of diminishing returns. Let me give y'all the definition, and then I'm going to explain exactly what it means.
I know. Okay.
No, I'm for our listeners. I'm sure you do Priest. I'm sure you do Rap. I'm sure you do Mills. Y'all are intelligent. Listen to this. Law of diminishing returns. Economic law stating that if one input in a production of a commodity is increased, yo, his eyes, his eyes, bro. You had to go by his eyes, bro. Like, what was that? Let me start over. Economic law stating that if one input in the production of a commodity is increased while all other inputs are held fixed, our point will eventually be reached with a distance of the input yield progressively smaller or diminishing, increasing in output. So what that means is you could put $1 billion into a house. If you live in the worst neighborhood of that city, it doesn't matter. The house value is not going up anymore. So that's pretty much what that means. So let me read you Devin Booker stats. He averaged 30.5 points, 6 assists, 4.9 rebounds, and a team went 8-0. And where is he at? He is at home. Literally what he did on the court did not matter. So Mills, play a game with me. So let's double his stats, right? Devin Booker, he averaged 61.
Mike.
Say 12 and 10. So Mills, play with me. No, pause. Mills, let me finish. He averaged 61, 12 and 10. And they go 8-0. Where is he at?
The same place.
He's at home. If he averaged 0 points, 0 rebounds, and 0 whatever, where is he at?
The same place, probably, Mike.
He's at home. And what? Say if they went 0-8. Say if they went 0-8. Let me finish. Let me say if they went 0-8, where would they be at?
Mike, but you're missing the.
Where would they be at? Where would they be at? Mills. If they went 0-8, where would they be at?
They'd be at home where they're at right now.
Okay, so my point is that the Suns, and it's not exclusive to Devin Booker.
It's not a Devin Booker thing.
It didn't matter. It didn't matter what they did, but it's not his fault. It's not his fault because
you can't put him as least valuable player. It's a
shame.
Right? I didn't give him that title
because what he did has zero value. All that 30 points, all that game winner. What did it do? He went home just like Zion.
But that's hindsight.
But no. But my point is, it's not his fault though. I'm not saying he played bad. I'm saying that what he did didn't have value because I think the NBA messed up, right? That the fact, it's partly the Suns' fault, right? Because the Suns shouldn't have been as bad before coming to a bubble and being that far behind. But the fact that a team could go 8-0 in the bubble and I guess say be the best team and still not make it to the playoffs, it's almost like should the Suns have been there? Should they have maybe been 2 more games? So I think the NBA, if there is a black eye on the NBA bubble, which I don't think this is because I don't want to see the Suns in the playoffs. So I'm okay with them being home. But if it's a black eye on the bubble, I would say that the fact that Devin Booker was killing and the Suns was like the hottest team in the bubble, went 8-0, and none of it mattered. That the fact that they couldn't even get into the play-in game, to me, I think that's the only issue that the NBA had with the bubble. So that's why I'm giving Devin Booker, and I could give anybody on the Suns, least valuable player, because what they did absolutely nothing. But it's not their fault. It's the NBA fault.
So what is
their fault?
So what is your definition of least valuable player?
Because if we talking value, right? If we talking value, we're talking about this player when this happens, when they're on the court and we win games, it matters. They went 8-0 for what? For absolutely nothing, right? Can we agree to that?
No, for a chance.
Well, yeah, for a chance. But where are they at? So my point is, yes, they did everything that they could have done. They did. Devin Booker balled, the Suns balled, they went 8-0. But at the end of the day, what did it amount to? Absolutely nothing.
Yeah,
and
but that's hindsight.
I'm saying it's not their fault. Well, I mean, the MVP is hindsight too. All of it is hindsight. All of it is after the game's in play.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but they had a chance. So you can't say that it's not valuable. I could say it was not valuable. They had absolutely no chance. They had a chance. If other people lost, yes, they had a chance to get in it. So how can it be not valuable if they had it going in before any game started? They had a chance to make the playoffs. Correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess by whatever formula the NBA had,
they had everybody who entered at a bubble had a chance to make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
So he showed his value because he did everything he could do to put his team in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
That showed his value.
Well,
the fact that they didn't make it doesn't make him least valuable. It just means something. Maybe another team did more than what they did from a different starting position. So it don't make him least valuable.
I'm just talking of the good players, of the players that matter. Only the players that matter.
I get you.
What I'm saying is that exactly what he did, everything that he did in the bubble did nothing for the Suns because they did not make the playoffs. It is not totally their fault. I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm not saying he played bad. I'm not saying he was the worst player. Mills said Lonzo Ball was the worst player in the bubble. I am not saying that. I'm just saying that what Devin Booker did and what Dame Lillard did is not even close because they made the playoffs. Dame Lillard pushed his team into the playoffs. So to me, that is more valuable because they actually got something. And Devin Booker, he could have averaged 80 points, right? It wouldn't have mattered. That's the law of diminishing returns. No matter what he did, they were not going to make the playoffs.
That's not true.
They were so far, but they didn't make the playoffs. That's exactly true.
But
we literally see them at home. How is that not true? But they didn't. But that's not
okay.
Point,
but no.
That's all you playing for is the chance, Mike.
That's why. But listen.
That's all you playing for.
We are talking about. But we talking about.
No.
Right
True.
now. We
okay,
talking
that's
about
fine.
right now.
Let me say this. I think what you're saying is okay. he's not the least valuable player. He's just not as more valuable than Damian Lillard, because Damian Lillard was
that's not even true itself. That's not true itself.
It is, because Damian Lillard was able to win that game. That's why they were able to get to the playoffs. Had he lost the last game, then the Suns would have gotten the playoffs. That's how it would have shaken out. So by that definition, Damian Lillard did more than Devin Booker. That does not mean that Devin Booker did not have.
No, that's not true.
What would be the alternative? Devin Booker lose all the games?
We're not. If we're bringing in the previous season, if we're bringing in their record, before the bubble, yes, Damian Lillard is more valuable. But in the bubble, we talk about the 8 games in the bubble. Nobody was more valuable than Devin Booker because he won every game. What do you? Okay. We talk about the bubble games.
That's
now and what happened?
What do you
mean? We talk about in the bubble. He made first team. Why is it first? He made first team, all bubble team, all that type of stuff because he was valuable. What he did.
He was balling.
Yes, but no.
Stop in the vacuum. Stop saying valuable. Stop saying valuable.
He was not more valuable to his team.
He was nice. He was nice.
Y'all not making sense.
This is the law. The law
they
of
went
diminishing
6-2.
returns.
No, bro, we talking about in the vacuum. The issue is
I'm not talking about in the vacuum.
Damn.
Why? We got to be in the vacuum. We got to be in the bubble. We talk about the bubble MVP.
But okay.
What else are we talking about?
I don't necessarily.
Nothing else to talk about.
Right. I don't fully agree with Mike's law of diminishing returns. Not the law. The law itself is right. But how Mike is applying it to Devin Booker, I don't necessarily agree with that totally. But what we're saying is Devin Booker was not more valuable to his team in the bubble just because he won more games. That's not how it works. Because it's a team game. You get what I'm saying? Like it's not.
No, I don't understand it. Tell me.
Okay, so just because you won more games than I did, that doesn't mean you was more valuable to your team than me, right? Just because your team won more games, that does not mean you was more valuable than me. That goes back to my, Russell Westbrook. He didn't win all the games, but he was clearly the most valuable player in the league at that particular time.
I'm not disagreeing.
So, okay, that's your opinion, but the world doesn't disagree with me. As far as the Devin Booker, he had an amazing 8 games. Nobody's saying he didn't have amazing 8 games.
I'm not even saying that.
But you have to say that Damian Lillard was more valuable just based on, in theory, his games meant more.
The thing is, Mike is saying that Devin was the least.
So if Memphis won a playoff game, would Ja Morant be more valuable than Damian Lillard?
Yes.
That's stupid.
If they won that game,
I got it. That's stupid.
If
Damian Lillard already won it, he already won it.
If Ja Morant would have won that play-in game,
yes.
What are you talking about, Rat? Bro,
I'm kind of with him on that, kind of.
That's
when we are
stupid.
talking.
That doesn't make sense.
Because, well, listen. I get you. I get what you're saying. I'm not trying to do a slight against Devin Booker. My whole point.
I know you're not.
That the NBA kind of messed up with having it to the fact that a team could go 8-0 and not make it. Like I don't know.
Well, no, that's not. No, they didn't mess up because you can't discount what you just did. What do you mean? They played games. Like the season had resumed. So that means they already had a whole bunch of games. The Suns were terrible.
That's the thing. But that's the thing. That's what I'm saying. So if you want to discount Devin Booker for the previous game, sure, do that. But in the bubble,
he was not more valuable than Damian Lillard. Mike,
he won every game. What are you talking about?
You can move on, Mike. Man. The Suns won every game.
I know, Rab, but what did that amount to? Absolutely nothing. At home, they went there. Why did they go there?
A chance at the playoffs.
To play the game to make the playoffs.
Listen.
Okay. And they did not make the playoffs. So
we're arguing the same thing over and over again. We can move on.
I said I don't want to make it seem like I'm a slight against Devin Booker.
You got agree? Yeah.
My slight is more so the fact that they go 8 and they went 8-0 in the NBA. They went 8-0. They probably was the best team in the bubble, and they did not make the playoffs. The fact that happened, I think I heard this. People said that was the one thing the NBA messed up on. I don't agree because even though they was balling, I did not want to see the Suns in the playoffs. I would much rather see Portland in. My point just is that even with all that Rat is screaming about, he is at home. So to me, you and I may have different definition of value because to me, what he did was not valuable because he's at home. The whole point was to go there to make it. Dame said, "I'm not showing up unless I have a chance to make it." And my point is that Devin Booker showed up, balled out, went 8-0, and all that. all
So,
that was
Mike,
for nothing.
The last question is: Did the Phoenix Suns have a chance to make the playoffs?
Yes, they did.
Okay,
Yes, they
it's
did.
that simple. It's that simple. They had a chance and they did
Okay.
everything they can to do it. It's that simple.
Yeah,
I can see if they came with no chance that you right. The fact that they came and had a chance is that simple. They had a chance, it didn't get done.
Okay.
Well, I said, you and I, we can disagree on that, right?
Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, it's not wrong with disagreeing. We can disagree. But so let's move on.
We think it's sports, but sometimes we don't know. We asking everybody to just tune into our show. We think it's sports.